One of the things I used to tell the people at the film school, the students when they came to the film school, it was absolutely used to appall them. Because I would say to them, you think because you have now been accepted into this school, I would usually tell them this in the first week or two of them arriving, you think because you've been accepted into this institution that you're successes. And I'm here to tell you that the fact that you're here proves that you're failures. Because what it means is that you had just the right amount of mediocrity to make us feel safe in letting you in.
Our biggest problem, at the heart of it, and I think it's to do with Australian culture more than anything else, is that we're a country that by and large has built its wealth on resources other than human resources, mining off the land originally and so on.
I don't know if the industry can be fixed because no one sets out to make it their job to fix the industry.
Just because an audience doesn't find a film at the cinema doesn't mean the film has any less merit.
There are incredibly edgy, dangerous, successful films coming from overseas that do really well on the art circuit and occasionally on the commercial circuit, but we aren't creating those films. Why?
We need to see an end to political correctness being a necessity to get government funding. We need to see the funding of genre pictures and films that actually can make money.
It's one of the best times for diversity. There's more, I think, very different types of movies being made in Australia than ever before, and finally, almost every type of movie is actually getting, in a way, a sense like an ear from the film bodies.
In my opinion, we don't have an industry. We do not have a viable commercial film industry. I've always described it in my own ways as a backyard barbecue by invitation only.
If the Australian nation thinks they can subsidise pictures that don't make their money, well, it just depends on how much money the Australian taxpayers want to waste.
If audiences only in Australia are going to want to see it, then it has to be that affordable that it can make its money back. It's just business 101.
I've read so many scripts that have received funding by the major funding bodies, and not first draft funding, second and third draft. They've received funding 2, 3 times before, and they're coming back for more money on the strength of scripts that aren't even good enough to get first draft funding.
Even though they're writing bad scripts, and I'm not saying everyone, I'm saying some, or even I'd say generally, even though they're writing bad scripts, they're still being rewarded with grants, with funds, with development money.
There's a lot of shit scripts that get made, you know, and there's a lot of sensational scripts that don't get made.
Well, I feel like there's only really 3 genres: good films, bad films, and okay films. And you really just want a range of movies that lean more towards good.
The issues facing the Australian film industry can be summed up in a very simple experience that I had just last week. I was at my local video store looking for something to watch for the evening. There were a couple of young girls in front of me and they were browsing the shelves for something to watch. They were looking over a DVD cover, reading the blurb, and suddenly one of them said, "Oh, this is an Australian film. This will be shit," and put it back on the shelf. And I don't know if it bothered me more that that mentality exists or that I absolutely understood what she meant.
We lost touch with the audience. And if we don't work with the audience, we're not working at all.
This particular story couldn't wait for 5 to 7 years to get it through the script process, through the funding bodies, and finally get it going. So I thought, I've just got to make this film and tell this story with whatever resources I can, get it out there, and also before I go broke as well.